Вітаємо вас, ми з України.
Greetings from Ukraine.
Smart evaluation auditory abilities to recognize and reproduce auditory information in everyday life. Authors Leko Alexander, Dr. Tamarevskaya from Chebotarev Institution of the National Academy of Medical Science in Ukraine. Here you are. You can see general information dealing with hearing system, hearing physiology. So we have external ear, we have middle ear, and we have internal ear. And speaking about external ear, you can see helix, auricular, lobular, yes? And we have middle ear. Here you can see cerumen, external auditory canal, elastic cartilage. Then speaking about temporal bone, of course, main bones, malleus, incus, yes, and we have stapes in oval window. Of course, you can escape tympanic membrane and cerumen. And about internal ear, we used to speak about semicircular canal, internal auditory canal, vestibular cochlear, vestibular branch, cochlear branch, cochlea, and generally linked to the nasopharynx. And we have Eustachian tube, of course, which connect nasopharynx with hearing system. Please, next slide. So, perception of sounds. Low frequency sounds are transmitted using acoustic stimulation with built-in hearing aids through ear plugs, and surrounding sounds are picked up by microphones of audio processor and are divided into low frequency and high frequency. Low frequency sounds are transmitted into canal, and sound transmitted to the inner ear naturally. So we discuss this, I think, implant system which allow to hear sounds on different levels of frequency, because it is very difficult to hear high frequency sounds in compared to lower frequency sounds. So high frequency sound are transmitted using cochlear implant, as you can see. First, its surrounding sounds are perceived by microphones or of the audio processor and are divided into low frequency and high frequency. High frequency sounds are transmitted to the implant as electrical signals, yes? And have a look, the signals are received by inner ear and sent to the brain. Next slide, please. So now about cochlear implant. Hearing recovery with cochlear implant is look like learning a new language. It's very important because we learn to recognize sounds, understand them almost like in music school. And please take in account that phonemes differentiation is very important, especially in children, because, for instance, if Chinese people learn English and live in China, it is great difficult to differentiate phonemes for Chinese people or Asian people living in their own motherland country. And if in case when this child have surrounds in another country, so no problem at all, because this cluster of people help this child to differ these phonemes. Please, next slide.
Hearing ability play a big role in shaping the overall working capacity of a person. If we look at the learning ability and hearability of long-life people, we will see that the percentage distribution regarding the preservation of hearing ability varies greatly, and we have a low percentage, less than 10% of people who, upon reaching the period of longevity in their lives, do not have problems with hearing ability between 37 and 52% of long life people have varying degrees of hearing difficulties. And about 1.5% of long life people are completely deaf. Then the main cohort of long life people cannot hear 36.6%, but 63% of long life people cannot hear. The need for hearing aids and other aids is 56.2%. Deaf, 5.2%. With assistive devices. Those the reason for the decrease in hearing ability leads to decrease in the results of the assessment of cognitive function and is observed in 60.3% of cases, and this is a component of daily activity, intrinsic capacity, and residual working capacity of a person. The younger cohort contrast from 60 to 89 years of old has generally satisfactory hearing capabilities. Thus, almost 66% of people has no problems with hearing. 22% has some difficulties, and 13% has great difficulties. It was very rare to meet people who are completely deaf. On the other hand, almost 66% can hear well without hearing devices or other aids. 34% cannot hear. We investigated in more detail the ability to recognize auditory information and reproduce a speech recording of 10 simple one-syllable, two-syllable words. Almost 50% of elderly people have 100% ability to recognize auditory information. Thus, the state of available hearing ability determines from 26 to 45% the overall working capacity of person from 60 to 89 years of age. In the online study of hearing ability in age cohort people who do not hear have already appeared in all periods of retirement age, in contrast to other area routine studies of age-related physiology of working capacity. Preliminary data dealing with younger people of working age for show reduce 100% ability for word recognition in 53% cases for normal speech of some track recording and 58% in cases for whispers speech of the same simple 10 words in an online study. Working on mistakes shows the psychophysiological features of auditory memory capacity. The percentage of all respondents who use notes of paper during the test has a low number of mistakes, 7.9%, in contrast to younger individuals, 35% 0.3, according to online test results. In addition to the auditory and visual flow information, there is an emotion component that allows you to remember the professor's lecture well. In the processes of learning, the flow of information is transformed into one of the types of auditory and visual memory. The psychological component, how many percent of the information you're familiar with, also plays a big role in finding and reproducing information. That is by choosing 10 simple words from the speech unit. We can easily calculate it quantitatively and percentages the recognition ability for auditory information from standard recording. In this way, long-lived people demonstrated by the example that cognitive abilities reliably decrease due to hearing impairment. A significant number of centenarians who survived the war of 1939 and 1945 had hearing loss. Peacetime online research has also shown some limitation among the younger population. This incomplete preventive pre-medical examination, the definition of hearing abilities is established as 10 words in Lithuanian spoken and whispered voice, and 10 words each in English spoken and whispered voice, and an interesting WHO application for smartphones. Here, 23 random combination of spoken number in English are offered during his analysis, and then the recognition score and automatically performed. Thus, if a person has completed all 5 tasks, he received 5 points. From 5 to 4 points is a good result, because we take into account the technical challenges that can somehow prevent you from downloading something to your smartphone. If less than 3 points, it's advisable to carefully pay attention to your hearing ability by otolaryngologist exams. Also improve your digital skills and perform auditory gymnastics for auditory training to recognize new phenomena and recognize musical sounds. You can see occupational threats to ear health and hearing ability include such professions as examples, riveters and shipbuildings, sawmilling, military specialties, etc. In addition to the professional factors, there are various traumatic risks in the world, which require in adult life to relearn to hear sounds or master sign language. You can see this. Professional high requirements for ear health and hearing ability are also observed for radio operation, signalman, air traffic controls, ATC requirements according to WHO up 75 points and above.
And prevention of hearing impairment. It's a very heavy issues for now because hygiene of hearing is now on the backside. But these prevention rules exist. First, do not listen to the music very loudly for a long period of time at concerts, and don't stand close to the source of sound. For example, near speakers, like take breaks if you are in noisy places. Avoid the negative impact of loud sounds and noise from equipment at workplaces. For this, use special tabs for ears. I must mention cheap tabs because special tabs have great difference in price, and normal, good, excellent tabs cost 10 times more than special tabs too, but very cheap. Contact your doctor immediately if you get hearing loss. Compliance with hygiene rules, early diagnosis and treatment of infectious diseases. Early diagnosis of hearing disorder, and if necessary, an appointment of appropriate treatment. You can check your hearing yourself. Thank you for coming. You're welcome. Take care and be careful with earphones.